As you can see, this is still a very active and ongoing scene. There are representatives from local, state, and federal government all here working together to try to mitigate the situation. There's a lot of things going on here. We've got a fatality traffic crash. We had, obviously an explosion and spill of gasoline, which creates inherent problems in and of itself. The force of the explosion and the heat from the fire were so intense that there is significant concern over the structural reliability of the bridges that are behind us. What you have is two bridges. You have a new construction bridge, and then you also have a bridge that is currently being used by vehicles. Both bridges are closed completely. Traffic that goes both north and south under both of those bridges is also closed. Because of the unknown structural stability of those two bridges, we don't want traffic to travel under or over them. TDOT has bridge experts here, inspectors. They also have more en route. This is going to take some time. We want to make sure that we do this right instead of fast. We definitely don't want another tragedy. People's lives are counting on us to make the right decisions, and so we're going to make sure that that's done. In the meantime, there's going to be some inconvenience to motorists. You can see that traffic is extraordinary right now, both north and south. All of the arteries around the city that are north-south are also clogged because everyone's being forced onto them. The traffic that is being allowed to flow north and south is being diverted off of the interstate onto Paytonsville Road and then back on to avoid putting them in a potentially dangerous situation of having them travel under these bridges until we know that they're structurally sound and safe to do so. The company that owns the truck is Edwards Oil Company of Lawrenceburg Incorporated. That's Edwards Oil Company of Lawrenceburg Incorporated, and they're out of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Because they're still in the process of working through the specifics on the driver and making sure that next of kin are notified, it would be irresponsible and disrespectful of us to release the identity of the driver who was tragically killed in this crash. Out of respect for the family, we're just not going to do it right now. That information at some point will be forthcoming, and we'll certainly make it available to everyone as soon as we can. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I don't know that there's a whole lot else that I'm able to say about the situation at this point that we haven't already. Again, this situation is going to be ongoing for some time. We're going to make sure that we do this correctly, not quickly. It matters to every motorist that's going to travel under or over those bridges to make sure that they're sound. And so we're going to rely on experts to tell us that and have no intention of rushing them through that process.
What's the best source of information for anybody who has to drive through here?
The best source of information right now is the Franklin Police Department. There's a lot of agencies out here working, but they're all funneling information through the FPD, who's the lead investigator in this crash. I'll be tweeting things on @FranklinTNPD, and I'll also be posting things to franklinpdnews.com. Those will be the best sources of information, and as more information comes available throughout the day and possibly into the evening hours, we'll update the media and the community via those sources.
We're curious about the school situation. We talked to a parent who had a kid that we dropped off but wondered what's the busing situation going to look like this afternoon.
Our recommendation for people that have questions regarding transportation and buses is to contact the school districts directly themselves. We were in contact, the city was in contact this morning with our two school districts, Williamson County and Franklin Special Schools, and they have set up a plan. I don't know what that plan is, but that was one of the first things that we thought of, is that you've got a couple of subdivisions over here that need to get through this area to get kids to and from school. While I don't have direct information on what that plan is, our best advice is to contact the bus or the school districts themselves to find out what the arrangements are. I don't know how much. We do know that unleaded gasoline was being transported by this tanker truck that we believe was traveling at interstate speeds when it struck the beam, the support beam for this bridge. I don't know how much fuel. The fire department is concerned still that there's a fire hazard over in this area where the fuel had run off to. We had water experts out that have confirmed for us that there was no danger to the water systems and that those are all safe and sound because the drains are actually higher right now than the ground. which helps tremendously to keep that fuel from actually leaking into the stormwater drains that are here.
What kind of timeline are we talking about here with the bridge? Because obviously you've got rush hour traffic, tons of thousands, tens of thousands of people that commute to Spring Hill.
We would love to be able to give a time frame. The fact is, we can't. We don't know if we're going to be out here for hours or potentially into the evening, or even maybe have an extended duration event for a couple of days. We're not going to rush TDOT and their experts, and they certainly don't want to make a reckless decision. And so the best advice that we can give people right now is expect delays. It's going to be aggravating, and it's aggravating for us as well because we have to get to calls for service. But the fact is, we're all in it together. Traffic is just shut down, unfortunately, at this point. We know we're going to have delays. We know it's going to be an extended duration event, and we're going to work together to get through it the best that we can.
What does TDOT say about the intact bridge? Not the one that they're building on now, but what is the exact nature of that bridge?
The two different bridges at this point, they don't want to make any public determination. They don't want to make any announcements yet. All of these things are very much in conversation between the experts, and so it would be irresponsible for me to share information about those discussions that they're having to determine just how much longer this is going to be and what the ultimate safety of those bridges is.
And finally, when the crash happened, was the truck and the trailer hauling the fuel together, or were they separate?
No, the truck and trailer were together. You can see behind me that the impact, the explosion, and the fire was so great that the tanker itself was split into two pieces. One was left behind, and the truck and the first part of the tanker is ahead of it, several feet.
Any idea if the beam had cones around it or barrels?
I don't know. I'm sure that'll be part of the crash investigation that's currently underway.
Well, there's a concrete barrier there, part of the construction.
I would have to look back at our crash records to really know that for sure. You know, this area is very congested. Obviously, the ongoing construction. You hope that it's going to alleviate all of the congestion when the construction's done. This obviously puts us a step back. But the most important thing to remember isn't that this is an inconvenience to motorists. It's that someone lost a family member today because of this crash. And so our hearts and the hearts of everyone here really go out to those folks way more than the inconvenience that it's causing motorists, including all of us. I think that if everyone really remembers that, we'll work together to get through this as best as we can.